Hey guys, came for 15, back at it with another video for you guys. Joined by my Uncle Darrell, and we are here to talk some Chicago Bears football. Chicago Bears made draft picks in the 2025 NFL draft, and we obviously got to talk about it because these are new additions to the team. Maybe the later rounds are just projects and hopefuls that they end up developing into future players for the team, but we'll definitely see as the years go on. I know we didn't do our round one recap. We'll do that video probably sometime. I don't know, this maybe. We'll probably do it sometime when I have the next available day in my schedule. So we'll talk about that. I know even though he got drafted in the fifth round, we'll talk about the Shador Sanders stuff too in that video. But that video will come out when we get the time to do it. So yeah. But anyways, we're here talking about the Chicago Bears, their draft pick. This is going to be the first draft in the Ben Johnson era of the Chicago Bears. And it was quite an interesting draft. I thought there were needs that the team needed to address, specifically the edge, and really just some extra trenches. We got a few of those picks. Most of the picks were just skill positions again. And we didn't address the edge. So the fact that we didn't address the edge, I don't know where we go from there. Maybe they pick up somebody out in free agency that maybe is a post June 1st cut. We'll have to see. It also tells me that I guess they're putting a lot of stock and a lot of hope that Dio Ogdengbo becomes a really dang good pass rusher opposite of Montez Sweat. Um, Typically, with how we've seen the Bears the past few years, that hasn't worked out when they try to lock down. Okay, well, let's trust this guy. They are paying the dude a lot of money. Hopefully, he can show up in this Dennis Allen scheme. Because if not, well, then we're gonna come back and look at this draft and be like, why did you not draft any of the best available pass rushers you had available to you? But we'll just waste a pick on a linebacker who, albeit is fast, we just don't know if he'll see the field. But we'll see. Well, there'll be a conversation for another point in time. And typically, as what we've been seeing as the Bears of late, typically when it comes to Ryan Poles in a certain decision, it comes back biting us in the rear end. I understood why the Bears didn't maybe want to go after Mike Green because he had two sexual assault allegations, and we know the Bears, this regime, they're very built on not only people that want football character, they want the personal character as well. And again, with the Jalen Carter situation, which people will still, there's some Bear fans that will still argue to this day, we should have taken Jalen Carter. Right now, yes, we have veteran coaches and we probably got a good like leadership established. I still don't believe we have the players on the team, especially on the defensive side of the ball, that can check players that have these issues um, personally, yeah. Now maybe if you give me another year or two, okay, let's start taking flyers on these guys that had personal problem issues. I think we have people in the building that are able to be good leaders and be like, hey, this is how you do things the right way. Um, but that's the reason why I believe we didn't go after Mike Green. I can completely see where Bear fans are going to completely go wild because the guy went to the Ravens, and people are going to be like, see, this is why we should have drafted Mike Green. Listen, you always got to take these sexual assault allegations with a serious. Geez, look at the Shannon Sharp stuff is going on right now. He might lose his job at ESPN because of all that crap. Um, but we'll see where it goes on. So the Bears' first draft pick, in the first round, it was definitely interesting because I know in the build-up, me and my uncle were talking about the side. He would always joke with me about maybe the Bears will trade up to get Genty, and I was like, hell no, I do not want us Ashton Genty. And with the build up to the draft, there were so many reports talking about how the Bears might actually have a deal in place to trade up and potentially take Ashton Genty. And I'm just like, oh God, here we go. And I'm like, all right, if you're gonna do that decision, I hope it's not for a lot of draft capital. Because you just look at what the freaking Jacksonville Jaguars traded up to go get Travis Hunter, and it's just like, dude, what the hell are you guys doing? You could have just stayed put there. But regardless, the Bears did not trade up, probably because they probably inquired. And teams are probably just like, well, we want this. They probably would have just stripped the Bears of all their dang picks just to move up to go get a running back. So
Yeah,
Bears just stayed put at 10. Ashton Genty, realistically, you would have to hope if there was any hope of getting Ashton Genty to the Bears, would the Raiders select him? Well, the Raiders selected him. Makes sense for the Raiders to do that decision because, well, they needed a running back, and honestly, with Pete Carroll, I could see it for his for from his perspective. Well, that can be my new Marshawn Lynch. There you go. So it gets to 10, and I was very interested what the Bears were doing. I thought they were going to go trenches here, whether it was defensive or offensive line. But shockingly, I'm guessing some Bear fans think or believe that maybe Kelvin Banks, tackle out of Texas, was going to go to them. But the Saints, out of the blue, they just took him at 9. So I guess it made the Bears like, okay, what are we going to do here? So I was thinking, okay, if you're not going to go offensive line, maybe you go defensive line. I'm fine with that. Bears with the first overall pick for round one, the pick number 10, they ended up taking tight end Colston Loveland. And I think just before the pick, we talked, this is all off camera. We talked about, like, okay, where do the Bears go? My uncle did say, like, well, maybe we go tight end. And I'm like, maybe we go Warren. And I didn't you mention Loveland the last
I
time?
did. I did. I mean,
So the Bears go Colston Loveland. I'm honestly fine with the move. Now, Colston Loveland, he is gonna be tight end number 2. Now, it's funny how you had some Bear fans predicting, like, oh, does this mean this might be the end for Cole Kmet? No, I don't think this is gonna be the end for Cole Kmet. If you go look at the statistics, Ben Johnson in his time with the Lions, he played a lot of 12 personnel, basically one back, two tight end sets. I'm honestly cool with the move. Yes, he's going to be coming. He probably won't be available till really around training camp because of his shoulder injury. But as long as he's soaking up stuff in rookie mini camp and OTAs, you're good. He's a pretty good tight end. The championship year, he was really good. Obviously, this past year at Michigan, he wasn't because Michigan legitimately had a quarterback issue. Like they were switching quarterbacks every single week. That's why they got that new 5-star over there. I think his name's Bryce Underwood, who's hoping to turn things around for Michigan. But I think he's a solid, weapon that we can use there. And again, another tight end that, paired alongside Cole Kmet could be a good complement to him. He's more of a receiving like tight end, but even then, if you need him to block, he can block for you. But exactly what I need in a backup tight end, a solid, capable tight end. I'm not going to expect the big things from Colston Loveland, but nice, solid things. And maybe this is something for Caleb Williams to be like, hey, we're going to use our tight ends heavy. You got to understand, you got to get them the ball. They're your nice safety blanket. I'll take it. It's a solid pick. I know some people are going to be upset, or some Bear fans were upset the day it happened. Like, geez, Louise, Twitter from Chicago Bears Twitter, man. Oh man, I do not miss that because one pick and they're already complaining. Why are we drafting the tight end at number 10? That makes no sense. I literally said it in a tweet after it happened. I'm like, okay, that may have not been the pick I would have went with, but in Ben Johnson we trust because I'm gonna trust the dude because he has a reputable background. He knows how to call a game. So I'm gonna trust Ben Johnson on this. Plus, Ben Johnson was a tight ends coach, mind you. So I think he knows good tight ends. When you see, I know people comparing like, oh, this is kind of like Sam Laporta, blah 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 blah, whatever. We got a second backup tight end. Colson Loveland, regardless. I think he's probably the best backup tight end we've had the past 2 seasons. Compared to Mercedes Lewis, compared to I can't even remember the other dudes. That's how irrelevant it is. Gerald Everett. Compared to any of the guys in the past few years we've had in the Ryan Poles regime of backup tight ends, Colson Loveland is probably the best one we got, and he's going to be a rookie. So that's just my take. But I like the pick. We'll see how it goes.
well, I like the pick as well too. But I honestly thought we were going to go offensive line as well too, but they just kept falling off the board.
Yeah.
And we both had mentioned the tackle from Missouri, and then when he fell off the board, we were like, oh my goodness gracious, man, what's going on here? So then up left was the offensive lineman from Texas, Banks. And then the Saints picked him up, and we were like, good golly molly, we surely thought that the Saints were gonna go somewhere like
Quarterback.
quarterback.
Well, they went quarterback
I
in the
mean,
second round.
I would have thought they would have went quarterback. I'm like, okay, all right. So they went offensive line as well. leaving us with, Warren and Loveland, as far as I'm concerned, was the only two picks on the that could have been possible at that particular at number 10. And when you compare Warren and Loveland together, personally, me, and I think I mentioned that in our text, that I like Loveland better because he's a better route runner. I don't really consider him a tight end. I consider him a pass catcher. He's someone that you can actually line up in the slot and expect him to, get separation on his assignment. Komet at times have shown that he can't do it. And even Warren, everyone likes Warren, but at the same time, though, he's that, that really big tight end. Not necessarily they can get separation. It's just that he's just bigger than everybody else, and he can just post guys up, like similar to what Gronk used to do. So I like Loveland because you can actually line him wide, you can line him in the slot, you can line him up in the backfield. I mean, you can do so many things with him. And yes, there is an injury history there that we are worried about, just like with everything else. So moving forward, I did like the pick, where it goes and how they actually utilize him. You already said that Ben Johnson likes his two tight end, 12, 12 packages. So I'm like, okay, all right, fine. Let's see where it goes. So right now we're at the point where we trust Ben Johnson. Let's see what happens.
Yep. So then we wait till day two. So day two happens and um I was thinking that they were gonna actually take a running back, and I was hoping maybe one of the Ohio State running backs fall to them.
Travion Henderson.
Cleveland
I was,
takes Cleveland with the first pick. The second round takes Quinton Johnson. I'm like, okay, it's not Trevor Henderson, not Trevor
yeah,
Henderson.
yeah,
Patriots come up, pick right before us. I'm watching this before, like probably a minute before I'm about to leave work. I hear Patriots select running back, Ohio State, Trevion Henderson. And I'm like, you cannot be serious. I'm like, why do they need a running back? They already got dudes over there. And I'm
yeah,
just like, okay. They took the running back that I thought the Bears were going to get. And what happened is I think the Bears ended up trading back one of their picks because of it in the second round. But they ended up taking one of the third round or one of their second round picks, round two, pick number 39, Luther Burden the third, wide receiver out of Mizzou. Now, at the time, I was like, why are we drafting another wide receiver? But the more I heard from what people were saying about this guy, they're saying like he potentially could be a steal in the draft where the Bears selected him. He's a really
yeah,
good wide receiver that
yeah.
Missouri obviously had. My uncle knows more SEC football than I do, because personally I didn't watch Mizzou because who cares about the Missouri Tigers? But hey, if he's gonna be a potential like future game wrecker for this team, I know we already got receivers, and I know in the draft post press conference, Ben Johnson already talked about and alluded to the fact there is no depth chart. Everybody's competing for a spot on this roster. So maybe Luther Burden comes in, he impresses the coaches. Um, Honestly, I think he's gonna be on the roster because you drafted him pretty high. If you're the second round pick of the third, if you're in the second round and you're third in that pick, I think he's gonna be on the roster. I think him and Zacchaeus are gonna kind of be like in certain packages here and there.
Correct.
But you know, if he ends up becoming a really good wide receiver for the Bears, it's another weapon for Caleb Williams. And I'm just like, oh, Caleb Williams got the riches of probably any quarterback you could have coming into the NFL. He's got DJ Moore on one side, he's got Roma Duze on another side. Slot receiver, who cares whether it's Zacchaeus or Burden? And then you got two tight ends in Loveland and Komet. Like,
It looks good.
it looks good on
It
paper.
look it looks good. You know, um, Burden was pretty good in Missouri's offense. Um, I believe he ran 4.39. I believe it was maybe I believe it was a 4.39. So he can take the top off of defense, and I think that's one of the things that the Bears were missing last year is that one guy that can just flat out run and take the top off the defense and actually beat separation. That was the one problem that we've had with all of our speed guys. So let's see. But I can tell you. Watching, yeah, I do watch a little bit of SEC football, just a little bit, Roll Tide. But Burden, if he can take the top off defenses like similar to how he did in Missouri, then I think we got a really good one right here. We really do. And with the Adunze, Moore, Komet, and Loveland, and Swift in the backfield, mm-mm. The Bears look scary. The
Yeah.
Bears look really scary. So, and then on top of it, you got Ben Johnson, who is considered the best offensive mind, if not in the league, at least in the NFC.
Hmm.
So, so I gotta trust Ben.
Yep.
Gotta trust him.
Yep. So then in the second round, what happened is we ended up trading back. So we traded back with the Buffalo Bills. We ended up receiving a 2025 second round pick, which is the Bills, which was at pick 56, a 2025, another second round pick, pick number 62, and then a fourth rounder, which was pick 109, which basically got recouped a fourth round pick after trading for Joe Tooney. So then, with that second round pick that we selected, we went on the trenches and we got Ozzy Trapillo, who, funny enough, if you watch the actual draft, Seth Rollins actually came out and he announced the pick, and probably one of the funniest and greatest ways to announce the Chicago Bears pick. Now, the people who were, I think, also I forgot the other guy who announced Burden's pick. At first, when they're saying their things, I'm like, it's nice, it's great. Please, I'm like, Bears, please back up their talk, please, because I don't need this
Yeah, I
to be
gotta
like
admit, man,
brought up 12
if
months later after the season's over and we're in fourth place again.
if Green Bay, if the next time we go to Green Bay and we don't win that game, I can tell you this video is gonna be shot all around the NFL.
Yeah,
So, but we did address the offensive line. You know, Granted, the talk around draft is why this guy at 56 when you probably could have got him in the third or the fourth round. But Boston College, and I wasn't really crazy about the trade down. I really wasn't, but what we got from Buffalo was decent. So but we had 39 and 41, and it stinged a little, but we did get. I think we got an extra fourth round pick out of it.
yeah, we got a fourth round pick. We
Yeah,
didn't
we
get
got
a
extra.
we got a fourth rounder.
Yeah. So I mean, at the time, it did sting a little bit because I'm like, well, we could have just drafted offensive lineman at 41, but at the time, we were just wondering what Poles has a plan, and yeah, let's see where it was good. This is what I was doing. Let's see where it goes.
Yep.
But yeah, yeah, I think it went way south from there for me.
Yeah, he is a tackle. We'll see what he does now. He predominantly played more right tackle than left
Yep.
tackle, but he
Yep.
has played left tackle. We'll see. I think this can be a good competition for Braxton Jones. I definitely do think he needs competition for once.
That's correct.
Because personally, if you ask me, if you're rolling in with either Braxton Jones or Karen Amadagaji, I've already seen enough film of what I needed to see. I don't give a crap if he never had any camp or they just brought him out there. Eberflus staff just put him out there just to put him out there. I don't care. All I
Yeah.
saw is Monday Night Football. He failed to make a block against a pass rusher, and it got my quarterback killed. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Stop
Yeah.
drafting these dudes from these smaller schools. At least Boston College is a more known school. We'll see how he goes. He could be a good developmental piece there. And
Yeah.
hey, Braxton Jones is currently injured. So if this guy comes in, he takes advantage of the opportunity during camp and impresses the coaches, and he does a really good job. Braxton Jones may have lost his job,
Well,
but
we'll see. I
we'll
mean,
see.
we'll see. We'll see. He's definitely coming in as a backup. Um, so let's see what happens with OTAs, and let's see what happens with training camp, and let's see how he progresses. I mean, he is a rookie, so it's not like he's going to come in and I mean, if he does, great. But um, whether he be right tackle or left tackle, it does not matter. Right now, at this particular moment, he's probably, third on the depth chart as far as left tackles are concerned. He might be third on the depth chart as far as right tackles are concerned too. So, but it does add depth,
Yeah.
which is one thing that we've
Much
always talked
better
about.
depth compared
Yes,
to last year.
correct. There's one thing that we've always talked about with the Chicago Bears. Can they survive a major injury? And the answer to that question historically has been no. So, but at least now, at least with the offensive line, they do have some type of depth, which I was good with.
And then also we actually have a actually pretty good offensive line coach.
Correct.
So
Correct. So, but any good offensive line coach, I mean, I don't care how good you are as a coach, you still need players.
yeah.
And you need depth. And I gotta admit, right now the Bears, they seem to be trending towards, having really good depth on the offensive line.
So then the next second round pick, the Bears went trenches again, and that's on the defensive side of the ball. And they got Shamar Turner, who was their second round pick, pick number 62,
52.
defensive
Yep.
line. He's a defensive tackle. Look, everything I'm hearing about this dude is pretty dang good, albeit the one incident that he's probably most known for is hitting that Ole Miss offensive line in the balls. But listen, as long as he ain't doing that, he can wreck games, and this adds into more of that defensive interior defensive line, just
Yes.
rotation and that depth we need. Because again, it's just like what Ben Johnson said when he first got in. He's like, yeah, once Andrew Billings went down, they really had no depth there, and we were getting.
None whatsoever. And I can tell you, this guy coming from Texas A&M, I mean, the times that I have seen him play against Alabama, Alabama's my squad, man. And I mean, he terrorized us. So I was really excited to get this guy, So hopefully Billing stays healthy enough
Mhm.
and, we can add a little bit more depth
Yep, you
to
got
the line
yeah
to keep
Billings,
guys healthy.
you got Billings, Dexter, Jarrett.
Yep.
Now this guy
Now this guy,
massively improved your defensive interior
man,
defensive line.
my goodness gracious. I mean, the ooh, I mean, man, the line of scrimmage, we can really control the line of scrimmage with what's on paper right now.
Yep.
I mean, we really can control the point of attack. And right now, things look really good, especially at that DT spot. Man, that DT spot is going to be right with competition. And that's, I'm pretty sure, what Ben Johnson's want. That's what we as fans want. We want variety. We want a bunch of guys that can do a bunch of different things. And that's what so far that the Bears are showing on the lines. So I was really happy with this pick.
Yep. Um, again, round one and round two, they were solid picks.
Yep.
Solid picks.
Yep.
And then you get to round three, where you're
Round
just
three.
like, okay, we enjoyed the first 2 days, but Ryan Poles, seriously, what the heck are you doing?
Mhm.
So we started the day off. We were gonna have an early third round pick. No, yeah, third round pick. We ended up
Yep.
trading that back. And no, it was fourth round. My bad. Fourth round. We had an early fourth round pick. We ended up trading that back to the Bills again. We
Hmm.
got the round four pick 133 and round five pick 169.
Thought it was
Um,
132. 132, 169, I thought.
oh
Doesn't
yeah, my
matter.
bad.
It's, yeah.
132. My
Okay.
bad. My
All
bad.
right.
132, 169.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then with round four of 132, this is probably the most head scratching, puzzling one that I'm just like, when you look at this
Yeah.
entire draft class, he's probably the one that is going to be like, this one better hit. Because if it don't, I'm going to look back at this draft and be like, why did we draft this guy? And that's Ruben Hippolyte II,
Yep.
linebacker out of Maryland. Now, when I
Yep.
saw the announcement, I was watching the screen. I'm like, and I saw linebacker. I'm like, why linebacker? Why? All I know is this from this guy. The dude's fast. He ran like a 4.3 something.
Yep.
Um, I guess the only thing that adds is it improves your linebacker speed. But I'm like, isn't Tremaine Edmonds pretty fast?
Yep.
I know. Edwards is TJ Edwards, who recently got paid. Um, yeah, he's not the fastest, but he's still a good linebacker. And I guess
Yep.
if you look at the third linebacker spot, Sambor wasn't really fast and he left, and then really realistically, the only other linebacker you got right there that I can think of at the moment is Noah Sewell. So maybe that's why the Bears took a linebacker there. Um,
Maybe.
you know, look, if the guy gets an opportunity, I hope he makes plays. If they wanted to improve the speed of the linebacking group, that's fine. I just need the guy to make plays. Now, personally, if you ask me, I feel like this guy could have been later down in the fifth, maybe sixth round, but we'll see where it goes. But this is the type of pick I'm just like, here's your yearly Ryan Poles. I'm scratching my head pick. What are we doing
Yep.
here? We could have
Yep.
got another defensive lineman, an edge rusher. We could have had another offensive lineman right there. By God, at the time Bear fans were screaming, we could have taken a running back. And there were still some pretty solid running backs on the board,
Yep.
but we decided to get a fast linebacker. I hope he's
Yep.
a linebacker that makes it's fast and makes tackles, not a
Yep.
linebacker that's fast and whiffing on tackles, because that's the problem.
Yes. Yes. Me personally, the first thing I thought about, I was like, okay, he's from a D1 school. It was a big school. They played in the ACC. They really good competition, things of that
Big Ten.
nature. Big Ten, that's right. I'm sorry. 5'11", 235 pounds at linebacker. And I'm like, okay, maybe they're trying to convert the guy into a safety because we need help at the safety position. Maybe. He's big enough, he can play safety. He can be a nice little hitter at strong safety. You know, I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe, just maybe, and I'm trying to be positive and devil's advocate and all of that stuff right there. Maybe, maybe they want him to be that edge in passing situations because of his speed. His speed, he can get to the quarterback. He can probably, outrun a lot of LTs and RTs. Maybe. I'm like, there is no way I can honestly see this guy on downs 1 and 2 to try to stop the run
No, he's
at
definitely a
his
special
size.
teamers right at this moment.
Oh yeah, yeah, right off the bat. I mean, probably. Yeah, I mean, that's probably your day one gunner. I mean, just just let this cat run right up the middle on special teams and just hit people. Great, but why did you draft him at this particular spot? Now I know, and here's the part that I'm just like, it's driving me nuts. Poles is doing all of this trading down. And I'm just like, dude, what is your draft board looking like where you keep trading down? I'm like, okay.
My only best case to that point is they had guys on their board that they wanted to take. Another team just took
Yeah.
him.
I mean, that's fine. But I'm just like, okay. I'm just like, well, don't you have a list of guys? Whereas if this guy's gone, let's try to hit up this one. This guy gone, let's try to hit up this one. Okay. If you wanted Travion Henderson and he got picked up at 38, okay, then who's the next guy on your list that's worthy of a high second round pick? Was Scatterbo on your list? He got picked up in the fifth. Okay, why did you trade your fourth? I'm just like, if these are your guys and they keep falling off, then don't you have more guys? Don't you have more guys on your list?
I don't know.
Or is it just typical polls when you fall in love with a guy and he's gone, you're just like, man, forget it. I'm gonna just let's just go ahead. My guy's not there. I'm gonna just go ahead and trade out. Let's see if we can get some picks for next year, and I'll sit up here and try to get my guy next year. I mean, that's just what it sounded like to me. His guys kept falling off the boards. He just traded away the pick, and he just okay, whatever, forget it. It just.
Yeah. Speaking of another
I'm like,
trade. Yep.
I'm like Dennis Allen. Okay, I'm like, if this is the guy that you wanted Dennis Allen, fine, great. But I'm not really going to sit up here and draft a
Yeah.
special teamer that
In
we're
round
going to
4.
draft just for special teams in any round.
Yeah.
I want to draft guys that's going to have an opportunity to play meaningful football. And unfortunately, I'm sorry. If and dude, if I'm wrong, great.
Yeah.
I'm wrong. I mean, there have been a lot of linebackers at his size and height that have done very well
Yeah.
at that position. I believe Ray Lewis was one of them. I think Ray Lewis was in the 230s when he got drafted.
Hmm.
So, not compare this guy to Ray Lewis,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying that his size, give him a shot. But Pose, come on, dude. Just
Yeah. And speaking of another trade, then we traded down again.
again.
And we traded our 5th round pick to the Rams for a 6th round pick, which was pick 195, and then
Mm,
a 2026 4th round pick. So I thought that was actually a solid trade. And with that 5th round pick, we drafted Zaw Frazier, defensive back out of University of Texas of San Antonio. He's a long, lengthy corner back. You can never go wrong with getting a corner, but even though we kind of got 9 corners, we got an influx of cornerbacks on the team. Look, this guy's going to add competition. Um, he's obviously also going to be another special teams unit if he makes the roster. Um,
yeah.
but hey, maybe he works himself in camp and he impresses the coaching staff, the cornerback room, because we know we got Al Harris as the defensive back coach. And if he was
Hmm.
vouching for this guy, well, Tyreek Stevenson, watch out. You might get your job taken.
And what I like about him is he's 6'3", about 200 pounds. He's big.
Yeah.
That's what I like about him. And he can guard those interior receivers, like tight ends. Maybe not them little scat back type cats.
Hmm.
The slot receiver, the little slot receiver, maybe. I think Tyler Gordon is better suited for those. But at the same time, this guy is big. So um, didn't see too much of him in college. But again, at 6'3", I think it was 196, I believe. Yeah, man. Size and speed at the cornerback position, you can't teach. And this guy's got both of them. So I
Yeah.
like the pick.
Yeah. You know, tall corner. He put him up against one of these tall wide receivers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So there you go.
Yep. Yep.
And then the next pick in the 6th round, pick 195, we got another offensive lineman, Luke Newman, offensive lineman out of Michigan State.
Yep.
He's very versatile. They
Yep.
said he played guard. He had played center. He impressed a lot of coaches at the East West Shrine Bowl. And again, this is probably one of your guys who is probably experienced. He played some college football, but he can be in the backup of the wings of guys like a Joe Tooney, Jonah Jackson. Learn from mostly Joe Tooney, and maybe who we know. Even though Joe Tooney will more than likely get like maybe a 2, maybe 3 year extension, this guy can be somebody that learns under Joe Tooney, and maybe
Yep.
he becomes a replacement once Joe Tooney retires from the NFL, and it's plug and play right then and there. Um, and again, if he's good at center and he shows up at center, who's to say maybe you're impressed with him at center? You're like, you know what? We appreciate you, Drew Dahlman, what you've done for us. Let's give this guy an opportunity, right? So,
That's correct.
this guy could definitely be a good project to have that maybe, in a few years we could see him being really good for this team, especially when he's learning from veterans on this team like a Drew Dahlman, a Joe Tooney,
Yes.
more than
Yep.
and stuff like that. So again, this is stuff I'm talking about when you draft these offensive linemen. You got these veteran offensive linemen who've been there. They've been in winning football teams and everything,
Yep.
especially Joe Tooney. Um, they dudes you can learn from. So
Yep.
I'm fine with the pick. You can never go wrong with
I
offensive
was
line.
fine with the pick as well too, especially because he was from Michigan State. I mean, I'm like, come on now, Michigan State. I mean, these guys are hogs over there, and they ran the ball, and they played really big competition in the Big Ten. So and then just like to make your point, I mean, the offensive line, the experienced ones on the offensive line, I mean, they're there for the next 2 to 3 years, which means this guy is going to have direct tutelage from these guys, so he can take over after they're gone. Great pick. I love it.
And then the last pick of the draft was the round 7 pick, 233rd pick. He fans were begging, we need a dang running back, please, because you cannot convince me. You're running up in your running back room with DeAndre Swift, Roshan Johnson, Travis Homer, who's still in this roster for whatever reason, and Ian Wheeler. And I'm sorry, if they have enough confidence in Ian Wheeler, we saw Hard Knocks. They love Ian Wheeler. Well, Ryan Poles loves Ian Wheeler. But I'm not having
Right.
confidence in running back coming off an ACL injury. That typically
Neither am
takes
I.
them a year to get back to what they used to be. And even
Neither
then,
man. We
Ian
won't know
Wheeler is a
nothing about
project.
Wheeler. We won't know anything about Wheeler until OTAs.
Yep.
So for me, at this particular point, we hate that the young man got injured. We hope that he comes back, and we hope that he comes back 100% better than what he was before. But yeah, man, that running back room is not deep.
Yeah. So they ended up taking running back Kyle Monagai, running back out of Rutgers. Um, I watched a few Rutgers games in my time. He was pretty good for the team. Um, we'll see where that goes. He's a 7th round pick. It's just another dude that can come into this running back room and actually compete. He actually has a shot to make it because,
Yeah,
again,
I
like I
think he
said,
actually has a shot too. I mean, he didn't do great his first couple years, but I think he had a breakout year in the Big Ten. I think he was first team. I believe he was all Big Ten, I believe,
Mhm.
and he's big, and that's another thing that I like about him. So we'll see where it goes. I can see that depth chart of three, and maybe Wheeler. I don't see Homer making a team. So, but I would have hoped that they would have drafted an edge and would have addressed the running back position a little earlier, you know. But I'm pretty sure that Poles and John Poles and Allen has got a plan as far as that edge is concerned. I can't see them putting all their eggs in one basket with Dio and Montez. I just can't see them putting all the eggs in one basket there. They got to do something else.
Well, anyways, that's basically it for this Bears draft recap. Um, Solid. I would give it a nice B. That's what I would grade it at, but we're gonna get out of here because we ran out of time. We'll be back sometime to do our draft 1 coverage and recap of that to talk about what other teams did. And then even talk about the Shador just crap because I know Mel Kiper was losing his damn mind. But
He
anyways,
did.
yeah, he did. He lost it. He's like,
Yeah.
it's embarrassing what the NFL is doing. These NFL teams don't know how to evaluate quarterbacks.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right.
Yeah, we'll get out of here, guys. Catch you guys in the next video. Tell them, guys. Peace.
Yeah. Later.